Hi, my name is Marcy Flukiger, and this is my Communications 175 persuasive speech. 15 years ago, when I was a newly called Stake Relief Society president, I first learned about a disease that affects millions of people. At a presidency meeting, my secretary asked if I had heard about how many Mormon women suffer from depression. So at our next stake leadership meeting, I asked the Relief Society presidencies from our 17 wards and branches to stand up if they or a very close relative, mother, father, brother, sister, son, or daughter, had suffered from depression. More than 80% stood up. When I expanded the question to include close friends or extended family members with depression, nearly everyone in the room stood up. I was amazed and more than a little overwhelmed with concern for the women in our stake. But according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, anxiety and depression disorders are the most common mental illness in the United States. They affect 40 million adults in the U.S. ages 18 and older. That's 18% of the U.S. population. That means that among your friends, neighbors, coworkers, and family, one of every 5 or 6 people probably suffers from depression. If you have a family member like I do who suffers from depression, your chances of it increase. Depression is a potentially serious condition. When my father was just 7 years old, he lost his father to deep depression. So how can you know if someone you know suffers from depression? I'm not talking about the normal sad experiences of a time of mourning. An example of that might be, my grandmother died and I miss her so much at the holiday time. I am talking about depression that lasts for months or even years. Mental health experts agree that it's normal for all of us to have occasional bad days, to get down in the face of work or school pressures or deadlines, or family problems, or to experience a slump after a vacation or holiday. But when things get you down, here's how you can tell if you might need some extra help to get you feeling better and back on track. When you answer these questions, think over the past few weeks or months and specify in your answers to yourself, does this happen never, rarely, sometimes, very often, or almost always? Number 1, do you experience slowness in thinking? Are you having trouble concentrating? Number 2, do you notice that you aren't enjoying things that used to be fun, clubs, activities, or groups that you used to love? Number 3, do you have a hard time getting going and finishing assignments at school, at work, or at home? Number 4, have you withdrawn from family and friends that you once enjoyed spending lots of time with? Number 5, have you noticed a change in your appetite? Have you experienced rapid weight loss or gain? Remember, your options here are, does this happen never, rarely, sometimes, very often, or almost always? Number 6, are you having trouble sleeping? Are you sleeping too much or too little? Are you waking up too early? Are you having nightmares or insomnia? Number 7, do you feel tired much of the time, no matter how much you've slept? Number 8, do you feel like you're moving in slow motion and you just can't get going? Number 9, do you find yourself crying for little or even no reason? Number 10, do you feel down on yourself? Do you not like yourself very much? Number 11, do you find yourself getting easily annoyed or irritable and unable to relax? Number 12, this is a yes or no question. Have you ever thought of suicide or made a suicidal threat, gesture, or plan? If you answered yes to that question, you should probably contact your doctor. Remember, having occasional bad days or feeling down about a particular problem is very normal. But if you honestly answered almost always to 4 or more of the above questions, you may need professional help. If you are concerned that you or a friend might have depression, take a test like this one at www.depression-screening.org. More women than men in the United States suffer from depression, but men are much less likely to seek medical help. So what can you do to help someone that might have this problem? If you notice someone close to you exhibiting symptoms of depression, ask the person how they're feeling. Explain why you're concerned. Realize that you cannot diagnose the problem or treat them with medications, but you can be a part of a very important support system. Tell the person that they are valued and loved and they deserve to feel better. Listen without passing judgment. Recommend that they discuss depression with a doctor and offer to go with them to the first appointment. It may not be the easiest conversation you'll ever have, but it might be one of the most important. It is often difficult to admit that you might need help, and whether or not the person chooses to take your advice, keep checking in with them on a regular basis. Extend invitations to join you in social activities. Make sure that they feel like they belong. Another way to help is to make others aware of the National Mental Health Association's confidential depression screening test. One way that I found to do this is a suggestion I found on volunteerguide.org. This can only take 15 minutes or so. You can make signs like this to post in business, employee washrooms, the public library, the senior center or recreation center, or other places where people gather in your community. The sign advertised a depression screening similar to the questions I just posed to you. It can help people recognize symptoms that they might have and make them more aware of the condition and the opportunities to seek professional help. At the bottom of each sign, cut several strips with the web address clearly printed on it. Then people can take a strip and discreetly tear it off and slip it into a pocket or purse. It's that easy. Talk to a friend or coworker, or post some information where someone who needs it can see it. A few minutes of your time and effort could save a life, or make life much more enjoyable for you or someone you know. Please take 15 minutes to make a difference. Share that you care and bless someone's life.